Hello, my name is Sergio Salcido. This is a project for a rock, paper, and scissors game written in C. And associated with this code, this is the alpha version of the project and that initial version setting up the display menu and the entering of the game, the exiting of the game, and error handling associated with invalid user inputs. So for the first section of code here, I am including the libraries for the functions I'll be using throughout the project. The next section, we go into the declaration of the modularized code that will break up the different sections of functions associated with this game, and it'll break up and clean the programming to make sure that debugging is easier and the different functions I'll be using are easier to work on and understand. After that, we have the definitions of rock, paper, and scissors, and it's tying rock, paper, and scissors to the integers of 1, 2, and 3, which will be important for the random generation of the computer's choice. And then also, anytime I am having to include rock, paper, and scissors in my code, the compiler will know that that rock, paper, and scissors is associated with 1, 2, and 3. Next here we have declaration of the player in the computer and the player throw and the computer throw. So that way when I need those to execute in the code, the compiler will understand and those will be declared so they're in place to allow those functions to work properly when I include them. After this, I have the main function. Within the main function, the first line of code here I have is the random seed generator, and this allows for the computer's choice when I type up that code to be randomly chosen, which is very important for the game. That way it is fun and there's no patterns or anything, and it makes it an actual challenge for the user. After that, I created a string for the yes or no option of either playing the game or exiting the game. And for this string, I first started with the do statement, so that way when the project starts, the display menu automatically pops up and it's automatically there for the user. They don't have to do anything. That display menu will be right there for them. And then it'll ask the user to enter a choice. And whatever choice that user makes, it'll scan that into the compiler under the memory allocation of choice to that choice pointer, and that will then indicate which function needs to be ran. And so for that, we have an if statement. If the user chooses Y for yes, the game will go ahead and start, and it'll play the game, and any functions in that play game section will go ahead and run. And then if the user chooses N, no, they do not want to play, it'll go ahead and exit the game and run the exit game code. And then lastly, if the user chooses any option other than yes or no that they want to play or do not want to play, the error code will run, and that'll just indicate to them that they had an incorrect input and that we need yes or no entered. And what that allows for the error handling is to make sure that the code doesn't crash or run into any issues or problems within the game. And after that, we have the display menu itself. So this was what will initially pop up when the code is ran or the game is started. And that's just indicating that this is a game of rock, paper, scissors, and it'll ask the user if they want to play yes or no, and Y and N for that. And then the next section here is the play game section. Currently, I don't have any code written in there. So when that is indicated that the user does want to play the game, currently because there is no code in there, nothing will be ran, and it'll just restart right back at that display menu. After that, we have the error handling here. And once again, this is for if the user enters anything other than Y or N for yes or no that they want to play or do not want to play, and it'll just indicate to them that this is an invalid choice and that they need to enter yes or no, Y or N. And then lastly here we have the code for exit game. If that user does choose N, it'll go ahead and give them this prompt thanking them for playing and hoping to see them next time for another game of rock, paper, and scissors. And with that, that's the code I currently have written for this alpha version. So we're going to go ahead and run this code. And here we have the project, and it's indicating that display menu right away because of that do statement. And that is just saying This is a game of rock, paper, and scissors. Do you want to play? Y or N for yes or no. And so for this, we're going to go ahead and enter the user's choice of Y for yes, we do want to play the game. And of course, as we stated earlier, because there's no code currently in there, it's just going to go ahead and restart us back right at that display menu. Next, we're going to go ahead and enter an invalid user response. So we're going to go ahead and enter 1, and that's going to prompt that code for the error handling, which indicates to the user this is an invalid choice. Please enter Y or N. And then after that code is ran, it restarts us right back at that display menu. And lastly, we're going to go ahead and enter for the option of exiting the game, which is N. And that go ahead and runs that code, and it tells us thank you for playing and see you next time. And then it stops the project itself and stops the game. And that is everything right now for my alpha version of Rock, Paper, Scissors written in C.